Hey there, it's been a really long time since I made a video, but we're making one now, and because people keep talking about third kits, I'm gonna make a third kit for every weapon. Let's hope that by the time I upload this, we don't get third kits announced. I'm just gonna get straight into this because this is a very long video, and I have some disclaimers to get through first, so we'll start with those. Okay, I have like 4 main points. So, first point is, I'm making these kits with the current game balance in mind, the current meta, like how good things are right now and how good things have been. This is not some hypothetical scenario where every sub and special is perfect and equal and on the same power level. No. It's the game balance right now. Number 2, different weapons were made with different things in mind, different goals. So, for example, I tried to make a lot of weapons built to like survive in comp, survive in like a team environment. But then there are other weapons where like I geared more toward the, okay, this would just be a fun playstyle for solo, or just a new playstyle, I guess. And everything's a case-by-case basis, so watch the video to find out what weapons get what. Yeah. Okay. Number 3, I tried my best. This is a rule I put in for myself. I tried my best to add at least 2 of every kit element. And what that means is that subs and specials, there's 2 of everything. 2 of every sub, 2 of every special. At least. There is one special that I put on nothing, and that's 10 missiles, because 10 missiles isn't really a special that we need more of in the game, because anything that gets missiles kind of just never gets played anyway. So yeah, just if you like missiles, I'm sorry, but it's not anything in this video. So last 4th point, in terms of distribution, well, the last point was also distribution, but this is another distribution point. There is a bias toward the more underutilized and fun kit elements, and that's like mainly subs. So like Burst, Fizzy, Torp, not put on many things, but are very fun subs that make for great kits. Again, there's not like 10 Burst Bomb weapons or anything like that, but there's a higher number. But subs like Angle Shooter or Toxic Mist, there's not more of them because they're not that good. So I mean obviously there are fans of those subs, and then a for fun situation, yeah, those are nice to put on weapons, but it's hard to find places for them where they really work, so they're not gonna have as much bias toward them. You'll see, just watch the video. Okay, starting with Splatter Shot because, of course, Auto Bomb, Triple Splashdown. So, Shot already has 2 kits that are good in comp, and it's Shot, so people are just always gonna play Shot. Those 2 kits aren't going anywhere. So I just wanted to add a 3rd thing that would just be fun to play. I feel like you could just take this Shot into solo and like not have to think too much because you're kind of just running around. You can throw your Auto Bomb, it's cheap, it doesn't matter, and like you can just be a Shot, be a frontline shooter, do whatever, and then you have a Splashdown, and I feel like Splashdown just makes any kit fun. So yeah, that's my Shot kit. NZAP with Torpedo and Kraken. Now, NZAP has 2 kits that I feel like really lean into support. You can argue that Orange Zap is aggressive because of chumps, but I feel like Zap is like just completely just a support weapon right now. So, and also if you're playing a Zap, I just feel like it's gonna be the gray Zap no matter what because of cooler. So I wanted to add an NZAP that could just be fun to play aggressively. I gave it Torp because Torp obviously is just very good on short range things because you can just like combo super easily with it and roll it in front of you to help you fight. And I give it Kraken so it can like build for something aggressive to like force yourself in. And then I made it 220p so that it's not like a sit back and spam Kraken weapon. It's like you have the Torp and it's 220p, so you kind of like are forced to use your weapon aggressively. So I don't feel like this would just be special spam. I feel like this would actually be an aggressive Zap, and I think that's thanks to the points of special. Okay, next we have Junior, and I know what you're thinking. You see Tacticooler, and you're like, this is just inferior Zap. And yes, that's true, but I also didn't know what else to give Junior because Junior inherently is a weapon that can't fight. It just spams its special, it spams Bubble, it spams Wave Breaker, it spams bombs. So I wanted to keep its bomb spam identity because otherwise Junior really has nothing, so I gave it auto so it can do the double auto stuff. And it's like, is that unhealthy? Probably, but Junior has nothing else, and I'm not changing the design of the weapon because that's what they made it. What are you gonna do? So I gave it Cooler because I don't want it to spam any other special, and Cooler's like a healthy special to spam, so I just gave it Cooler. I mean, you could use it over Zap if you really wanted to, but yeah, Junior in this game, you're gonna play the bubble one, so yeah, Cooler, Auto Bomb, why not? Okay, Sploosh. Now, Sploosh is one of the ultimate rat weapons in the game, so it just kind of has to have Splashdown. Like, getting a shark in this game with Splashdown and just popping it is, like, genuinely one of the funniest things ever, and it's honestly kind of good. Like, weapons that have Splashdown that are using comp, like, will do that, and it's like, why does that work? It just works, I don't know. And then Splat Bomb, because, I mean, Splat Bomb's just solid, and, like, you can't give it Curdling again. You could give it Fizzy, but I feel like Splat Bomb works better on Sploosh. And you can, like, roll it at your feet really quickly, and Sploosh is a fast weapon, so I feel like giving it a sub like Fizzy, which you need a charge, I feel like wouldn't work. So I want to give it two things it can just use fast and aggressively. So yeah, I think this would be a good Sploosh kit. I don't really know what else I could have given it, so let me know in the comments. You should comment on this video. Okay, Splash is another weapon that already has two really good kits that are being used a lot right now. Or, well, Neo Splash more, but you still see B-Splash, don't worry. But this one is Curling Zipcaster, and I feel like this would probably be the worst one, but it would be really fun. I think Curling on Splash is, I'm surprised we haven't seen it before. I know they just always give it to Sploosh, but I think Splash could also have it, because it's like, you can Curling in and just beam someone. It's not going to be as good as a Sploosh, because Sploosh is just faster, but I think Splash could use Curling, like close to just as good. And then Zip, obviously, you know, this is the Notorious, we saw it in the trailers, and then it didn't happen in the game. Perfect accuracy, I think Zip would make sense. It would probably wouldn't be the greatest, because Splash doesn't have the best range, but I feel like it could still work, and I would want to see it, because we did see it, we just never got to play it. Okay, Aerospray, Burst Bomb, Killer Whale. I know Spray is meant to just be, you know, spam my special and spam paint, because the two kits that are in the game right now, that is all they do. You spam your Fizzy and your Slider to paint, and you spam your Sprinkler, well, you can't spam Sprinkler, but you know, you place your Sprinkler and you spam Booyah to paint. So I wanted to give it a kit that could, like, have the potential to fight, so I gave it its burst back. Whale, you know, does chip damage, so, like, Spray isn't meant to fight, but maybe you could fight with this kit, who knows. If you're, like, the aggro Turf War Warrior Spray, then this is your kit. I know, flashbacks, because you see the Booyah Bomb on the 52, but don't worry, I think it would be fine in this game, especially if it's 210p, because you don't have a wall, and I think the wall plus Booyah is what made it so toxic in S2, but I don't think that would be the case here. And speaking of toxic Mist, because this is Mist potential. Mist is not a very good sub, but I feel like on 52, it would kind of go insane. Obviously there are better subs, but I feel like if you're gonna put Mist on anything, it should be 52. If you're in a Mist, and 52 is looking at you, you're like 99% dead. Like, you're not getting out of that. And then Booyah Bomb is just a good special, and it's worked on Gal, like I said, so yeah. 210p just for good measure. Okay, Splattershot Pro. Splat Bomb, Trizuka. I feel like Pro is kind of like actually having some eyes on it, even if it's just at, you know, low to mid level. But I feel like Pro deserves a second option because, again, the Crab Tank one, no one's really using it or wants to use it because of Angle Shooter. So I feel like having a solid sub like Splat Bomb would just be like really well balanced, and I feel like having a Zuka is just, I mean, it's a Zuka. I don't know, this would definitely not be better than just V-Shot, but I think it would still, you know, having some place in the meta. And 210p just because it's a Zuka on a shooter, yeah, I don't like Zuka spam, so just 210p just in case. Okay, Jet, Squelcher, Burst Bomb, Kraken. You either love it or you hate it. I think Jet just needs Burst Bomb back to be an interesting weapon again. Yes, it had Burst Bomb Stingray in 2, but when it had Burst Bomb Kraken, it was a fun weapon, trust. This would be a 210 Kraken because you don't want it to sit back and then Kraken in and then, you know, go back and play. This needs to actually be an aggressive Jet, so I feel like Burst Kraken forces you to be aggressive, but you still have the range to, you know, play back when you need to. I think this would make Jet a real weapon, maybe not in like the highest level of play, but I think it would make it a real fun weapon to play. Okay, 96 Scal with Curling Bomb and Big Bubbler. Yes, this is just the V-Roller kit, but I think the V-Roller kit should be more on just V-Roller, because I think it's one of the best subs to be paired with Bubbler, just because it's like inherently you can Curling in to set up a Bubbler further than you would maybe be able to before, and I would want to try it on a weapon with more range. So 96 I feel like fits the bill, and obviously Splash Wall is really good with 96, so I feel like Bubble would sort of translate in the same way, and Curling worked on 52, so I feel like it would work on 96, maybe to a lesser extent, but I feel like it would still work. Being able to Curling in and out with 96 would also be super fun. So yeah, I would want to see this because it's kind of experimental, and I think it would be interesting. Okay, Splattershot Nova. I'm really surprised this weapon doesn't have like a paint spam kit or just any kit that like tries to combo with the main weapon. I mean, Whales kind of attempt to do that, but I feel like the vanilla kit's gimmick is location, and then what is it, Anarchy kit is like kind of just inkjet spam. I don't know what they were going for with that one, to be honest. So this one is focused on chip damage and paint because I feel like that's what Nova needs. It needs to be able to output a lot of paint because the main weapon can kind of do it, but it needs help. Fizzy Chump I feel like does this. I feel like this is would be solid for Nova. I feel like this plays into what Nova wants to do, and I feel like none of its kits have done that so far, so yeah, there you go, Fizzy, Chump. Okay, L3, Torpedo Inkjet. This would just be peak. I mean, it's a shame it can't be Burst Inkjet, but we've already used Burst on the Hammer kit. So, Torpedo would obviously just be great with L3. Damage combos. Torpedo, again, is just, like, perfect pairing for this weapon. And then Jet is just, like, it's had Jet before. It works so well. Jet should be on more stuff. I think this is a perfect shooter to put Jet on. It's just a perfect kit. What can I say? It's peak. Okay, H3 is really weird in this game because the cooler one people don't really use, and the bubble one some people maybe use kind of, but neither of them really have a solid place anywhere. So I wanted to give it a third, like, really strong special, which is Ink Strike. So, like, H3 is just cracked on the special department with this scenario, I guess. And then Fizzy. So this can just, like, spam paint and just kind of spam strikes. Like, another strikes option, because, I mean, we don't need more strikes option because strikes is kind of, it's kind of overtuned. You know, I feel like H3, if it's gonna fill a role, it does the, like, spammy role kind of well, so, and it can fight maybe. I don't know, H3 is kind of a lost cause in this game, but I feel like this could give it a chance. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully Splatoon 4 will fix it. Okay, Squeezer with the Slosher Deco kit. I think the Slosher Deco kit is actually really cool, but I don't think Slosher should have gotten the angle shooter. I think something that already shoots straight should get angle shooter, because I feel like that's proven that it's worked on Rapid Pro, so I feel like Squeezer is like another weapon that fits that description, and I think this weapon would obviously just be really strong with Zipcaster because it has perfect accuracy. So yeah, I feel like angle shooter would combo nicely with Squeezer. Obviously, it would prefer something else. I feel like for the sake of keeping this angle shooter Zipcaster thing, I think I would put it on Squeezer again, because I want it on something that's not Slosher Deco. We're finally onto a new weapon class. There are so many shooters in this game. Roller. Fizzy Bomb Splashdown. Fizzy obviously does not fulfill the same peak movement that is curling on Roller, or curling in general, but Fizzy can kind of get the job done, and I feel like Roller wants like paint and chip damage in front of it, like repeatedly, so it can like combo with this horizontal if you like miss the one-hit hitbox. So I feel like Fizzy, like, even if it's not the perfect movement tool that curling is, it can still sort of emulate it, and it's another thing Roller would want anyway. And then triple splashdown, because you're gonna be in positions to use it, and it just is really solid. And then out of a splashdown, you can combo off the 60 damage if you need to. Yeah, I mean, I think this kit would just be solid. It would not be as good as V Roller, but I don't think you're beating that kit anyway, so this would just be fun to use. Carbon with Curling Ultra Stamp. I wanted to give Curling to another roller, and I think Carbon is the best for that because it's so fast. So I feel like you could actually, like, you would have even less time to react out of a Curling. Obviously, Carbon would need to get even closer, but like once it gets close to you on Curling, like, you don't have time to react. Carbon missing Burst Bomb is like so terrible because without Burst, Carbon becomes way worse. But I feel like Curling could make up for it in different ways. This would not be better than the Deco kit, but it would be a new playstyle, and I feel like that's what Carbon wants, because Carbon is really restrictive when it doesn't have Burst. And then Ultra Stamp, because Carbon gets into positions where like you would pop an Ultra Stamp and like kill people. So like, I don't know, I mean, Stamp is like not the best, but I feel like Carbon would make use of it better than a lot of other things. I mean, like, they put it on some weird weapons in this game, so Carbon would be a pretty good fit. Okay, Dynamo. First thing, really want to point out the Booyah Bomb, because they really should have brought that back on this weapon. I'm surprised they didn't do it before. It's just a really good fit, because Dynamo needs this kind of continuation tool with Booyah, and it just does the job so well with Dynamo. Mine is here because Dynamo does want to get in positions to set up sometimes, and I feel like its other kits don't let it do that. I mean, you can throw a bomb to defend yourself, but like, mines are just really nice, and then if you chip someone with mines, like, you don't have to worry about hitting the one shot with Dynamo after. So I feel like this kit would be solid. Obviously, it's missing a movement tool like in Sprinkler. I think mine would still work. Okay, Flingza. Flingza's first kit is very stay back and spam missiles, and then the second kit is like weirdly aggressive because of screen. So I wanted to make a kit that could like support in a more interesting way. So this kit can obviously, of course, sit back and spam its crab, which is like kind of the main design of this kit, is to just play for your crab. But I wanted to give it beacons so that it actually like can both do that and have like an interesting playstyle where it can swim around the map and be a roller and place beacons down and maybe peek some ledges if it needs to. But when time comes, you can sit back and spam your craft. So I feel like this is a pretty flexible kit, all things considered. Big Swig Roller. This weapon desperately needs a sub it can combo with because of its core damage on the horizontal. I picked Fizzy for that. There are a few options obviously for chip damage, but I picked Fizzy because not only does it chip, it paints really well. And paint obviously is just great for Swig because adding more paint to paint just means this thing is going to cap zones really easily and just be able to paint for your team really well. Oh, and you're painting a lot? Well, you're painting for a Tacticooler, which your team also needs. If there is a Swig that could maybe be seen played in something competitive, maybe, it's this one. You know what? Swig, if you're gonna be anything, you're gonna be this. Okay, time for some brushes. We got another cooler weapon here, Ink Brush Torpedo Tacticooler. I feel like Ink Brush is an underrated pick to give cooler because like Ink Brush can be very annoying and run around the map and create distractions, and it can especially do that with a torp. Roll it at the ground, throw it in the air, just like zoom around the map, try not to die, or avoid death is what I mean. And then while it's being annoying, it's painting for a cooler, and then you can cooler with your team and then go in and being even more annoying. So I feel like this is peak annoyance, and I don't know, I feel like it would be like a weird kind of skirmishing weapon that produces coolers. I mean, it's like everything Dapples wants to be basically, but it actually has a sub that works. So yeah, I think this would work in a weird way. Octobrush Autobomb Kraken. Autobomb I feel like is just a really solid pick for Octobrush because you can like it's like really good to scout, and again it's a bomb, so it puts like some danger on the map for your enemy to play around. It really helps you clear areas as you try to move forward and like shark under stuff with brush, and then you're painting for a Kraken, so you can go in and push up, and then when your Kraken's done you're not even out of position because you're an Octobrush. The zip kit is fun, but I feel like this would be more fun to play, and again Octobrush doesn't really have a place in the meta too much in higher levels, but I feel like this would at least be really fun to play in solo. Paintbrush Suction Super Chump. Okay, so the main reason I gave it Super Chump is because I wanted to add something to alleviate the windup, and I feel like Chump, like as distractions and as shields, you can like go in with your Chumps and like be maybe a little more careless with when you start swinging, because like the Chumps are kind of like covering your windup for you a little bit. So I feel like there's some synergy there. I'd give it Suction because I wanted to give it something consistent it can throw out, because curling is a nice movement option on the vanilla, and then point sensor isn't bad on the nouveau, but again it's not painting, it's not doing any damage. So I think Suction would just be something nice and stable for Paintbrush because that's what it needs. Paintbrush, I don't think any kit you give it is gonna help it see any play, so I just wanted to give it something that isn't weird like the other two kits and just give it something stable that Paintbrush fans can play. So there you go. Splat Charger, this one's weird, but let me explain. Okay, so Ink Mine, they've never given Charger Ink Mine, and they like always give one of the kits like Sprinkler, and I didn't want to do that again. E-Leader isn't the only one that can have Ink Mine. Splat Charger can have Ink Mine too, so I gave it Ink Mine because it can set it up to defend itself. And then triple Splashdown. It worked on Explo. I know Explo's a very different case because it's like an AoE weapon with like a lot of pain, but I feel like with Mine Splashdown, this would be the ultimate Charger where you can't approach it, where you can't rush it down, because it's either got Mine set up or it's gonna splash down in your face. I just think this would be really fun. I mean, Charger already has like two kits that are really good, so I was comfortable giving it something that's a little more gimmicky, and this is like the don't approach me Charger, that like it can be a Charger, and if you try to get rushed down, this is gonna happen. I think this kit would be funny and fun to use. E-Leader, we're bringing back the Burst Bomb. I mean, mines are probably like realistically a better way to defend yourself, but I feel like having burst would still be solid, and I feel like it would still work. I just want to see how it would play out, to be honest. I gave it Inkstorm so it could have something consistent to throw out, because Inkstorm was good on it. And this kit also kind of has a weird chip damage thing going on, so maybe you could like partial charge E-Leader makes a comeback. I don't know. Would it be the best leader kit? I honestly don't know, but I know what leader wants, and I feel like this would be something leader players would be happy with, but at the same time I don't know if it would overtake the other two kits, but you never know. Okay, Squiffer Suction Bomb Crab Tank. This would be a very consistent kit. The vanilla kit is just kind of weird. I mean, Bubble I think is actually good on it, but like then it has Sensor, and it's kind of just like this weird wishy-washy kit that doesn't know what it wants to do. And then obviously the second Squiffer kit is the trick shot weapon. Like it's, you know, you zip cast and you're cool and you're whatever. But then this I feel like is a very consistent kit that's playing for a consistent special and has a bomb. I feel like if you are a fan of Squiffer, but you're not a fan of Zipcaster Squiffer, I feel like this is the kit for you, because the vanilla Quitter isn't doing it for you. I might have been smoking something with this Bamboozler one. I might have had a rolled up piece of bamboo and I might have lit up on this one, but Burst Bomb, because I just want to see it back, to be honest. Mark III had it in Splatoon 1. We need it back. I'm sorry, we need Burst back on Bamboo. It would be so good. And then Zuka, because Bamboo right now has Whale and Chump, and those are like the you pop and then like you use and they like put stuff on the map. I want to give it something that I could like be an entry tool, be like, oh, I'm gonna make something happen, not I'm gonna put Whales that last 2 seconds or Chumps that don't do anything. Sorry, Chumps. So I gave it Burst so it can combo, and then Zuka so it can get stuff done. And then Bamboo actually paints very well, so this is also 210p because I hate Zuka spam, but I still want to put Zuka on weapons. And also, the Bamboo Mark II is like so paint spam that it's like, it doesn't even feel like fun to play. So I feel like this would actually be like the aggressive fun Bamboo, so yeah. GooTuber is like such a lost cause weapon that I felt like this is like genuinely the weapon where like no matter what you put on it, it's still gonna be as terrible as anything. So Suction Wave. Sure, I feel like I put a randomizer on this one, but I didn't. I chose this because I don't know, like, it just feels like it's not really offensive. It would use both the sub and the special, and it would play the game, and it would still be bad. GooTuber fans, I'm sorry, but you need like actual balance changes to save your weapon. No kit is gonna do that. So yeah, here you go. Pencil, or I'm sorry, Snipe Rider. Booyah Bomb. Pencil spamming its special. That's what it's doing. It's painting and spamming its special. So yeah, Booyah Bomb, why not? It's in positions to use Booyah, sure. And then what makes this kit cool is the angle shooter, because you get 5 shots with your main weapon, and then you get 2 angle shooters to combo off the shots you just did for 45, which combos with your 68. So this is like a 7-shot Snipe Rider. Not really. It like effectively is, and I think that's kind of cool. So I feel like angle shooter is like the coolest weapon to put. Pencil is the coolest weapon to put angle shooter on. That's what I'm gonna say. So yeah, I feel like that would actually be like cool, and then sure, you can have a Booyah too. 210p because of the pencil. Yay. Okay, Blaster. I think it's a really cool kit. I feel like curling would be just really nice on Blaster because you can curling in and like get into like under ledges and stuff and just start like blasting your blaster, you know, as you do. And then also you use curling to like get into position to set up an Inkjet, and Blaster on Inkjet, or Inkjet on Blaster should come back in combination with curling. This is the Emperor's kit, but on a Blaster, and I think that would be cool. The Bubble kit is nice. The Splashdown kit is also like, honestly, its kits are like not amazing, but they're solid, and like you see people use them in comp. So I feel like this would just be like another kit to add that would be like on that same, like, it's not amazing, but people will use it because it's the Emperor kit. Who doesn't like that? Range Blaster. I did not give it the burst back for the 3rd kit because I gave burst to some different blasters this time. No spoilers though. So I give it Fizzy instead, because range, of course, like plays at this slower pace because it's such a slow weapon. So I feel like Fizzy doesn't affect the pace of its playstyle as much as like giving it to other blasters. So I feel like Fizzy would be nice. Obviously, it's chip damage, you know, combos with range and whatever. And then, but I did give it back a Killer Whale. Killer Whale on blasters, I feel like it's just inherently good. We've seen that with Rapid Pro or Deco. So I feel like it would be good on range as well. So I feel like this is just a nice combo for chip damage. And I feel like the other ranges, or at least CRB, would still be better. But I feel like this is a nice alternative. Maybe like a different map mode pick. This is a bit of a wild one, but we got Rapid Blaster, Burst Bomb. It would be very strong. They would be very strong, stronger than Torp. I would say stronger than Torp, yeah. It would get really nasty kills, but I didn't give it a Reef Slider as punishment for that combo. I think using Rapid out of a Reef would actually be also pretty deadly, and I wanted to give Reef to weapons that I feel like could have the range and damage numbers to combo out of it the way Dreadringer does, because Dreadringer I would say is like one of the best Reef comboing weapons. This would be a really solid Rapid kit that forces it to be really aggressive, more so than Deco. It would just have insane combos. Rapid Blaster Pro, Wall and Tacticooler. Wall on Rapid Pro, I feel like should have been on the first kit, honestly. With the Ink Vac, that would have been a better weapon to give Wall Ink Vac to than, you know, Big Swig. But whatever, the Wall's here now, and we give the Cooler. So the Walls just, you know, help it set up and fight, and then you're painting for a Cooler. I made it pretty cheap on the special side, so like it's not struggling to get the special that the team relies on. I don't think this would be too popular of a Cooler option, but I think Blaster players, or at least Rapid players, would gravitate toward it because it's like, it could fit into a team really nicely, I think, especially like Rapid Pro Stamper stuff. So yeah, I think this would have its own little niche. Luna with Burst and Screen. I think Luna would really like a Burst, because Burst is obviously a great movement option for blasters because they're so slow, and I feel like Luna would just love to combo with it up close, and it gives it something nice to chip at from a distance, because Luna obviously is a very point-blank weapon, and also you can just like use it to cover angles that like Luna can't get to. Screen is to further help alleviate the distance that Luna needs to close, because Screen has become the special where you like set it up to then play like around. You don't know if someone's gonna be behind it, or if they're like trying to swim under it, or taking an off angle because it's blocking so much vision. So I feel like Luna can play around Screen really well and turn the map into a playground more of sorts, and then Burst just helps it chip and fight and move. So yeah, 170p so we can get lots of screens. I think this would actually be a really good Luna. I honestly don't know much to say about this Clash Blaster because I just gave it these kit elements because it just kind of felt right. I feel like Torp would just play well off of Clash's damage, and it's just again a combo tool, so it helps it fight, and Clash needs to do more damage because its kill time is so slow. And then Storm also is kind of like this thing that just lingers on the map to help with your kill time. I just kind of made this so it's like to make up for Clash's flaws, which is honestly just like the really low damage and the really slow kill time. I just wanted stuff that could like activate the weapon to like be more lethal. I didn't know what else to give Clash because like if you give a weapon Splat Bomb Zuka and it still isn't good, I don't know what to do. So I feel like this is just something else to try. I don't know. Clash feels very much like a throw spaghetti at the wall till it works, so buff the main weapon. S-Blast, Auto Bomb, Crab Tank. I kind of just went with a gimmick for this one, which is like give it like toy things because it's a toy. So I give it Auto Bomb because it's like a submarine little toy chicken guy, and then Crab Tank because it's like a toy crab thing. But it turns out that also makes for a good kit. You can play for your Crab Tank, and then Auto Bomb helps you find people. I think Burst is just like the best thing to put on S-Blast, so it's not gonna have that again. But Auto's nice location thing. I feel like this kit would be good. I don't know if it'd be better than the purple one, but it's another option for S-Blast players. Okay, so Heavy Splatling. Yeah, this is just the Zekofin kit, but I think, honestly, it would work better on Heavy. Heavy with a wall in front of it is pretty scary to approach, and then obviously, Heavy paints pretty decently, so it's painting for tri-strikes, and that can help get your team in from an anchor position, which is pretty advantageous position to throw strikes from, so I don't know, I just think this would be solid. Hopefully it would give Heavy some use, considering that strikes are really good. Mini with Torp and Trizuka. So I gave Torp to Mini specifically because I feel like it's the only Splatling that can throw Torp and then actually play off it like fast enough, because Mini just charges so fast. Like those stats on that are actually insane. So I feel like if you throw a Torp, like you'll have a charge done before it's even like deploying to track someone. So I feel like that would actually have really nice synergy, and it would emulate Burst in, you know, not the perfect way but decent ways. And then I give it Trizuka because Mini deserves a special that can get stuff done that isn't Hammer. But Mini paints so much. Mini paints like crazy, so I have to make it 220p just in case. But yeah, I think this would be a really solid mini kit. Hydra with Sprinkler Bubbler. I made this kit with the entire idea being to set up your Hydra in a spot with a bubble, get that bubble as fast as you can so you have a sprinkler, and just get in those awful spots where you don't want a Hydra to be, because then they're just beaming you and it's terrible. And also this helps with Hydra's biggest weakness, which is just like people throwing like random stuff up at your perch where you're standing to try and just get you out of there so you can't even charge in the first place. So bubble really helps with that because it just absorbs stuff. It's just an HP sponge. So I feel like Hydra really wants a bubble, and Sprinkler will just help it get more bubbles. And obviously Hydra doesn't care about sub too much, so you just throw a Sprinkler, don't care about it. Decently strong, but it would not make Hydra good. But it would be fun to play. Ballpoint Beacon needs to come back because Ballpoint is a really cool Splatling where it can be really fast on the ground and have this short range mode to like set up beacons in interesting spots, but then also be able to like beam you from like crazy range close to Hydra. Beacon just lets it set up and do cool stuff. And then Super Chump just to have something nice and consistent to charge for. I feel like Jet really forced Ballpoint into a weird playstyle where it's like, it's being this backline, it's supporting with Fizzy, oh but now I'm a Jet and I have to go up and do stuff and stuff. So I feel like Chump just gives it a nicer role, and then Vac also is just like, I don't think Ballpoint wanted the Vac too much, so I think Chump is a better fit. Okay, my one true love, Nautilus. Okay, I gave it the Inkjet because Nautilus Inkjet is like a happy marriage. It just needs to come back, and I think it would be a way better Jet weapon than Ballpoint in terms of like Splatlings or Jet. And then Auto, because I wanted to give Naut Bomb that wasn't like a 70% of your Ink Tank bomb. Auto Bomb, which doesn't give him 55, you can throw it out and like get back to fighting quicker, but also still be able to put like something lethal on the map. So I feel like Auto Bomb fits that nice bridge between like location of point sensor, lethal of like a normal bomb like suction. 210p just so it doesn't spam too much inkjet. Okay, Heavy Edit. I gave it the Vanilla Rapid Pro kit because I feel like that kit would work way better on like a few different weapons, but I thought Edit was the best candidate, and I just really like the gimmick of Toxic Mist and Ink Vac. Like, it's weirdly cool, even though Mist like isn't the best. I feel like it would be really cool to just see that combination again, and I think Edit would take the best advantage of it because it's so fast and it paints really well, and it would like actually be able to position to like use the sub and special better. So yeah, I just want to see that kit again, but on something else, and I feel like Edit's a good fit for it. Okay, onto some buckets. Slosher. Yeah, this one's pretty good. I gave Torp to Slosher because obviously I was not going to give it Burst because I feel like that's too extreme for this game. So I feel like Torp's a nice compromise, and it has like utilities that Burst doesn't have, and it's just more expensive, which I think Slosher needs to be checked on its ink consumption a lot because it can't be like throwing out too much with its like really good hitbox and stuff. So I think Torp is fair. And then Crab Tank is just something consistent to play for. I feel like Slosher is good with strikes, but at the same time, it's like you'd rather have strikes on a different weapon. So I feel like Slosher charging for something like Crab Tank would be probably more useful, but I did give it 210p because I feel like this kit is just overall really strong, so I didn't want to make it spam on top of that, so yeah, 210. I'm particularly enthusiastic about this next kit because it's curling screen, which I think is like one of the most fun things in the game. It's like one of the only reasons I got into playing 52-bit is because of this kit, and I want to see it on something else, and I think Try is actually the perfect candidate for it. Try, I think, would super appreciate curling bomb. Like, you could just go in and get like stupid kills on Try, especially if you have like cover from a screen, which you could set up, and it's just like Try could just play around screen so well. If you don't play 52 deck, if you haven't touched it, try it. It is such a fun weapon. Screen is a very fun special to play around if you have good awareness, and I just want to see the kit on something else, and I think Try is a good fit for it. Okay, my neglected child sloshing machine. We got Splat Bomb and Super Chunk. Now, I wanted to give Machine a kit that wouldn't be stuck in 220 hell. So I just gave it something I think that's like pretty like inoffensive and consistent. There's nothing too special about this kit. It's honestly just like a Splat Bomb to like combo with your indirects or your direct with the 30 damage, and then you have something lethal upon the map, and then chumps, like you can play around the chumps, would just be fun to do. This kit would just be nice and consistent. Machine already has 2 good kits, so like this is just the 3rd nice kit to have. Yeah, I mean there's not too much else to say about this one. Okay, the Blobber. If I'm gonna be so real, I really hate this weapon. Like, there's not a lot of weapons in Splatoon I hate, but this weapon just annoys me. Like, it's not like... we're not gonna get into it, but Suction Bomb, because I don't think it's gotten a lethal bomb before, so I think just having nice, like, something that's, like, actually lethal to put on the map and not, like, that Blob that does 30 damage would be nice. And then playing for Inkvac, I think this would be a really good zones weapon. I mean, Blob is already good in zones, but I think this would be, like, better than the Rain one. I don't know, I think this would be a solid zones weapon for people who like to play Blob. I don't know why you would like to play Blob, but here you go. I mean, I think this is consistent. Okay, Explo. To be completely honest, I really was lost on what to give Explo, so I gave it a Sprinkler again. It doesn't have a kit that really plays into its paint. I mean, there's the Storm one, but like, you have a sensor, so I feel like having a Sprinkler that you can throw down in a nice spot and not worry about to help with your paint would be nice. Obviously, Explo is a very big zones weapon, and I feel like Wavebreaker shines the best in zones because you can set it up around the zone, or like a flank or something like that, just like in nice spots to like hit multiple ledges or whatever. So I feel like this would be good for Explo. Also, Explo would combo nicely with Wave. I don't think it would be better than the other 2 actually, but I feel like this plays into what Explo wants to do. But again, probably just gonna pick the other kits. My new adopted child, Dreadringer. Splat Bomb Cooler. Now, disclaimer, this is not actually what I want on Dread, but I feel like for this game, for Splatoon 3, I feel like this would be the best option. So, Splat Bomb, because Dread really likes playing around a lethal bomb. It's already gone Suction, which is probably better, but I want to give it Splat Bomb to just have that other option, because obviously, Dread D has a beacon. Dread just throwing out something lethal is just, like, it's just strong, because you have so much range and damage being put on the map, that having that also threat of a bomb is really nice. And then playing for a cooler, Dread paints so much, it would get so many coolers, and Dread can like play back when it needs to, so it could play for cooler. And I feel like you could make some really interesting comps around Dread with cooler, it being what's outputting cooler and being that option, because then it can play passive and paint when it needs to, and then get cooler and then go in with its team, go for crazy kills. So I feel like this would be really good to build around in comp. Okay, Dualies. This is gonna be a fun section. Okay, so we're starting with the Splat Dualies, and we're starting off with a boom. We got Burst Bomb Inkjet. I think this would just be so fun. It would go so insane. 210p just in case it's really good. I mean, obviously, like, you just look at the kit and it just makes sense. Inkjet on Splat Dualies, it worked on Emperors and S2. It's gonna work again here. It can dodge roll off its landing, you know, all the synergy with that. And then Burst Bomb, just Dualies would love a Burst Bomb to combo and fight. This would be like, kind of like this, it would be a middle ground between like the consistency of vanilla Dualies and the insane aggression of Emperors. I feel like this would be a nice middle ground, but it would also be super fun. If they put this in the game, it would be peak. Dapples. Fizzy Bomb, I think, is the best pick. After you throw a Fizzy, going in with a Dapples, like following behind a Fizzy, would just be really strong, and like Dapples would love to play off the damage of Fizzy and have the paint as well. Kraken is like almost the perfect fit, because Dapples is this weapon that like once it gets in, it forces engagements and it really gets in, and it would just be in position to like have a Kraken ready, and like when your Kraken's over, again, same logic I used for Octobrush before, it would not be out of position from where Dapples wants to be. And then you could also use Kraken honestly to just like escape a situation if you need to, and just have the invincibility to like keep yourself in the area and then keep fighting afterwards. So yeah, I think this would be solid and plays into what Dapples wants to do. Okay, we got Dualies Sculptures, our next cooler weapon. So I gave it Torp because Dualies Sculptures would really appreciate the damage, and the location, because Dualies Sculptures, obviously, it can't find people very well, and it doesn't really, when it does find people, it can't really kill them that quickly or do that much damage. So I feel like Torp solves both those issues, where you can combo with it, and then also you can allow yourself to move forward. Using Torp combined with your movement and your slides, I feel like would be really fun, and then it's painting for a cooler. And Dualies Sculptures, again, is this weapon that's meant to distract, kite them around the map and whatever, so I feel like while you're doing that, you're also charging for a cooler for your team. You're messing up the enemy, but also you're supporting your team by charging cooler. Okay, Gloogas. Fizzy should return. I think Fizzy was really good on Glooga, and I'm surprised that they didn't give it to the Zuka one. But I'm putting Fizzy here because I feel like it's still just really good with Glooga. You like how most weapons want to play off of Fizzy. Screen is like the wild pick here because I actually think that Screen would work really well for Glooga. Glooga has always been like this 52 adjacent of the Dualies, and I feel like the way it plays would really benefit off Screen because Screen would allow Gloogas to move and get into positions that it would be too slow to get into otherwise. Doing that, you could get some really nasty kills in your turret mode, like rolling out of a screen and like suddenly there's a turret mode, Glooga's in front of you and you're like, oh, I'm dead as hell. I think they would have synergy there with Screen. I don't know if it would be better than Vanilla, but hey, Glooga's has had some chances to be good, and well, I wish it luck. Okay, Tetra Dualies. I was scared on what to put on this because I understand why the devs don't give it good kits because like one wrong thing and it's like, oh, this weapon's insane. But I think this is balanced enough while still being better than what it's gotten. So I gave it Curling Bomb because I feel like it would appreciate a curling to move around the map, and Tetra is a very unpredictable weapon. So I wanted to give it something that's a movement tool but also like predictable. Like Curling's a pretty straightforward sub. So like I didn't want to give it something to make it like even more unpredictable because I feel like that would kind of elevate that element too much, but then you can dodge roll out of it. And then Booyah Bomb is just consistent, and I feel like it would like continuation tool because Tetris is very get like down and dirty in their weapon, and then it would pop Booyah to like keep itself going and then just have something nice to charge with. 210p because this is a pretty strong thing to give Tetris, so. Okay, Dowsers. I also wanted to give Dowsers Inkjet because I feel like Inkjet on Dualies is just inherently a nice like synergy to have. So I wanted to give it to also Dowsers. So I gave it to Splat Dualies as like your short range option, and then Dowsers is like your play back option that has an Inkjet. But Dowsers can still get like aggressive. So Suction is just, you know, because Suction's just a solid sub and it needs something lethal and nice to throw out. The Burst is nice to combo with on the second one, the Deco, what is it called? And then the Vanilla has Mines, which works for the backliney playstyle, but I wanted to give it something that it could threaten a bit more than a mine. And I feel like this weapon would just like be aggressive when it needs to, but mainly play for its Inkjet and then like kind of go crazy off of that. So yeah, I think this would be solid. Okay, we're on to Brellas. So we'll start with Splat Brella. Torp. I think Torp combos with Splat Brella way better than it does Undercover. I mean, both of them need the damage because both of their damage numbers are not the greatest. But I'm putting on Torp on Brella now. And then Storm, obviously, like, people have pointed out the synergy on this before, where it's like, thematically, it's nice, but also, you can heal in Inkstorm now, and Brella paints your feet while you're shielding, and while you're shielding, you're not taking damage, so you would actually get to heal in Storm when you have your canopy up. So yeah, this would just be a nice solid kit. I don't think this would be better than the Inkjet one, but it could have its own little thing going on. Okay, Tent. Ultra Stamp Tent, it needs to come back. It was so fun. Camo Tent was so fun in Splatoon 2. Ultra Stamp behind a Tent shield is just like, it tickles my brain. I don't know. It's really strong. It's probably the strongest weapon to have a stamp, in my opinion, so we just need to see it again. We can't have mine back, but I think Sensor does like a nice job, and I think Sensor on Tent would actually be really nice. Be in your Tent shield, have better vision about what's going on, or like someone's right in front of your shield, like sharking or something. And then it also helps with like having a stamp and like being able to find people while you're stamping if you censor them before. So yeah, it'd be a fun 10 kit. It wouldn't be as good as Sorella, but it would just be fun to play. Okay, let's be so for real. Undercover needs a burst bomb. So we're giving it the burst bomb to help with the damage. Nice for movement. I mean, Undercover's not a slow weapon, but the movement is nice, you know, to paint your feet and stuff. But yeah, it needs a burst to help with its damage. So just so it can fight, just so it has a chance, we're giving it the burst. And then Cooler. Cooler would actually be insane synergy Umbrella, because if you don't know about Undercover, it regenerates its shield whenever it gets an assist or a kill, and Tacticooler gives you, you know, like free assists just by giving it to your team, so you would like constantly be regenerating your shield if you're trying to fight, and that just goes really well with also having better damage from burst. And then realistically, I don't think this would be your Cooler option in comp in any sense, but you could try it. This would give Undercover a chance at least. Recycled Brella. Now, I know I probably should have just given it a bomb or like something to combo with because that's probably what it wants, but I really wanted to give Splash Wall Crab Tank to something, and I think Splash Wall would actually, like, if you're gonna give Wall to any Brella, I think it would be recycled because it barely has a shield itself. So, and like, it has the damage range, honestly, like, to play off of Wall. So I don't think it would honestly be bad at all. I think it would actually work well, like, in practice. And then obviously the main appeal of this kit is having a wall in front of a crab, and that's just so much HP. Yeah, that's the main appeal of this, and I feel like recycled is a fine weapon to experiment with that maybe unhealthy combo on, so yeah. Okay, Wiper. I wanted to give Wiper something like a little like mellow and basic because I feel like the stamp kit is like super aggressive, and then the deco kit is like it's trying to do this sploosh thing with the beacons and the missiles, and I don't know. So I wanted to give it a lethal bomb and something that it could like threaten with and like poke with, be fast about, kind of like Junior, honestly. But obviously it can't spam bombs as much as Junior. And then the Inkstorm is to have something down to like help with your damage, and like I feel like fighting in the Inkstorm really fast with Wiper is good because it like zips around. It could actually like heal a bit with Storm because it's like avoiding damage constantly because it's like moving so fast. So I feel like this would just be something nice and consistent to play with that isn't like so extreme as the other two kits. Okay, next we got Stamper, and auto is mainly to find people. I was considering what location sub to give it, but I think auto's the best option because it's cheap but still lethal, and I feel like Stamper would appreciate that after like getting a mist and having a combo tool. And then I give it Reef Slider because Stamper I feel like gets into these positions where like it could pop Reef Slider from a nasty angle and like get picks off it, because obviously I said I wanted to give Slider to weapons that could combo off of it, and Stamper definitely has the range and the damage numbers to do it. So I feel like Slider would honestly not be bad. I mean, like, Slider has a stigma with it, but it's become like a decent special, honestly. So I feel like Stamper would like it. I think the vanilla kit would still be better, but this might actually be better than the crab kit, I'll be honest, even though that's Slider. But yeah, I think this would be a solid, like, nice third option for Stamper. Okay, another one I'm really happy with. Decab with sensor and screen. And if you haven't noticed, I get excited over the screen ones a lot. I just think that, first of all, point sensor and screen is immediately a really nice combo. Because first of all, you have your screen up and like you're blocking vision, but then you can throw out the sensors like beforehand or after, and then like you have location, but your enemy doesn't, unless they have a location sub. But your enemy doesn't, and like screen plus the scent, like it's just such a nice combo. And like when you see it visually in game, it just makes so much sense. And then having that combo, and you have a decab also behind the screen and a decab that knows where you are, it's like this would be such a scary kit to go against. Once it sets up its screen, this decab would honestly be such a menace. And I was considering giving it 200, but I wanted to give it 190 because I want it to be able to use screen decently often. I feel like this decab would be the scariest one, in my opinion. Okay, the bows. Good old Tri-Stringer. Inkmine. Besides Mist, Tri-Stringer doesn't have anything to defend itself. I wanted to give it something like if you're trying to go into Tri-Stringer's little setup, there's gonna be mines there, and they're gonna have them placed in spots that you want to go to, and then Tri-Stringer's gonna know, and they're gonna be shooting at you. You know, mine on a backline, typical thing. And then Booyah Bomb, so it's painting for something that, you know, isn't whales and chumps. I just want to give it something that's like has a bit more power to it. Maybe this would be the best Tri-Stringer kit. I mean, the vanilla one, I know Whale is like pretty solid and people like the vanilla one, but I feel like this could be better. So yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about it. I feel like this would be a decent kit. Okay, Reflux. Now, I know people want kind of another supporty thing on Reflux. At least that's what I've kind of been, like, gathering from, like, reading stuff. While I do see the vision on that because it paints so well, I also wanted to give it something aggressive that wasn't the wall slider one. I wanted to give it an Inkjet, because I think Reflux could be really cool with an Inkjet. And I wanted to give it a bomb, you know, that wasn't curling, it wasn't a movement tool. I want to give it a lethal bomb that could run, because Reflux can paint around itself really nicely, so I feel like having a bomb poke with is, like, kind of what it wants. And then the Inkjet is just something you can play for. I made it 210. I was considering 220 because Reflux does paint very well, and I didn't want this to just be I'm gonna use my jet, spam the jet button, but I gave it 210. I wanted to be a little more fair to the weapon because Reflux has been treated very poorly in this game. But yeah, I feel like this kit would be fun to use, and I feel like it could actually play into being aggressive and like getting under ledges, popping your jet, you know. Okay, we're ending with Wellstring, and I wanted to give something Beacon Bubbler because it's like, you know, two beacon things, and that's kind of funny, and I think it would actually work nicely on Wellstring. Wellstring is like, it has like these range values where like it would actually get into both backline and frontline beacon positions because it has like, you know, the one shot up close with the like half charge thing. So I feel like it would actually make use of like getting beacons in nice positions in like a variety of positions. If you get a Wellstring in a nice spot, you set up your bubble, and then like that's really annoying to deal with, because you try to approach it, it has the one shot. You just kind of have to shred the bubble and deal with it. And then meanwhile, it's shooting at you from inside a bubble. I mean, it's a gimmick beacon bubble because it's like 2 beacon things, but also it would actually work on all strength. So yeah, I think this would be solid. Okay, and that's that, what, like 63 weapon kits? I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my ideas about the kits. If they do add third kits to this game, I hope that they're well designed and that they're fun to play, because they sure missed the mark on a lot of them in the base game. But yeah, comment below if you think I made a bad kit and tell me, and boost the engagement on this video, because I don't need that, but like that would be cool. Like I don't need the money, or I don't get money from like, this is a parody channel. Actually, I'm not supposed to break character. Like the video and subscribe. Yeah, I think you should do that, yeah.